his training camps were the stuff of legend. I mean, he would spar 100 rounds a week sometimes, which is just insane.
You like Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan. Because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock
1,000%.
Joe Rogan weighed in on Terence Crawford's intense training ahead of the Canelo Showdown, praising his elite switch-hitting ability and adaptability. Rogan suggested these tools could help neutralize Canelo's raw power and vast experience, even with the size gap. Still, he warned that Crawford must be physically strong enough to absorb Canelo's punishing shots, stressing the danger of being overpowered in the ring.
He's going to fight Canelo. I just hope he's big enough. I hope he's big enough to keep that dude off him, because Canelo hits so hard.
That's one dude that, like, I believe all the shit he be talking.
Crawford? Yeah. Oh, he's good.
He don't just be saying shit.
They tried to say that, like, Errol Spence was damaged because of what Crawford did to him, because he was damaged from the car accident. I'm like, maybe. Or maybe Crawford would have done that 3 years ago. I think he's that good. He's just so skillful. So slick. And when he gets, and he's also the best guy in the sport at switch hitting. He'll go from southpaw to orthodox and be just as good and trip you up. Like, you think he's going to start southpaw, he starts orthodox. You prepare for orthodox, he's fighting southpaw. He feels like he's got you timed better orthodox, he'll switch it up.
Rogan isn't pulling any punches. He's all in on Terence Crawford for the blockbuster clash with Canelo Alvarez. On a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience with Jim Lampley, he was asked who he favored and answered without a second's pause, Crawford. He went on to explain, "I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think Canelo is slowing down." Rogan lauded Crawford's slick footwork, adaptability, and tactical brilliance, while still acknowledging the formidable size and power advantage Canelo will carry into the ring.
Beyond interesting. Fascinating.
How does Crawford compete with that size? Crawford is leapfrog. He goes to super middleweight.
7 to 54 and now to 68.
And the Madrigal fight in 54 is a difficult fight.
Yeah. So who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock
1,000%.
I also think Canelo is slowing down, and Canelo is more of a one-punch fighter now than the combination fighter he was when he was young. He uses strength and conditioning. There's very few fighters that just train using skill, train skills. Like George St. Pierre did that for a certain period of his career.
I wonder if there's anybody left in boxing who trains just using the gym skills. There were a lot of them when I was first involved in the sport who would never have touched a weight.
Right.
You know, they subscribed totally to the notion that was negative.
Right. And the worst case, I mean, they definitely did calisthenics, but that was it. It was just body weight exercises, you know, which brings us to Crawford, which I think is really interesting. The Crawford-Canelo fight.
Beyond interesting.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Because how does Crawford compete with that size? And, you know, we have to recognize, okay, well, when Canelo fought Floyd, it was 152 pounds, right? So he had dropped down, which was a struggle for him, which is why Floyd was so brilliant in getting him to go down to 152. Because he knew
Rogan also cautioned Crawford against entering the ring with Canelo without careful preparation, stressing the dangers posed by Canelo's size and punching power. Still, he declared he wouldn't miss it for the world, calling it probably the biggest fight in boxing. True to form, Rogan's breakdown on his podcast took some unexpected turns, at one point veering into a discussion about cartel mule runners, seamlessly mixing fight analysis with his trademark blend of offbeat cultural commentary.
To every one of them, they're disciplined. Yeah. And they stay focused. I'm so excited to see this fight with Canelo Alvarez because I think the Saudi Arabians have so much money. They're throwing so much money at boxing. And the guy who's the head of boxing over there wants to make that fight happen. I think Terence Crawford, forget about the 3-weight classes. I think he could beat Canelo.
I think he can.
On the Joe Rogan Experience, Crawford looked back on his 2023 clash with Errol Spence Jr., crediting his dominant performance to relentless preparation. "Everything you see fight night, we drilled it time and time again," he told Rogan, explaining that the seamless execution came from countless hours of repetition in training. Addressing the looming challenge of Canelo's size, Crawford was unfazed. "He might be bigger than me, but big don't mean stronger."
that was something that when I had the cast on, I was like, man, I love the gym so much. I'm like, man, I'm not leaving the gym. Like, I'm going practice with this left. And that's when I got the left stronger because at first, when I go southpaw, it was only, you know, my right. And when hand got messed up, start working on the left and start getting stronger and stronger. Start getting more accurate. First, just throw it just to be throwing it. And then, just got to a point where my left was actually way
Teddy
stronger than
Atlas
my right.
views the Canelo-Crawford clash as a quintessential size versus speed battle. In his eyes, Canelo brings raw power and the comfort of home field advantages, while Crawford may possess the edge in agility and ring IQ. Drawing parallels to Manny Pacquiao's upset over Oscar de la Hoya, Atlas highlights Crawford's elite instincts, sharp timing, and elusive movement. While acknowledging Canelo's proven dominance at higher weight classes, Atlas believes Crawford is very, very special, capable of neutralizing physical disadvantages through savvy, adaptability, and those intangible qualities that can ultimately decide a fight.
Crawford, Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. And I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class. Can he carry it? But those.
In preparation for his super middleweight showdown with Canelo Alvarez, Crawford has revealed a striking body transformation. After competing at 154 pounds, he's bulked up considerably, reportedly walking around at 185 pounds, with earlier footage suggesting he was near cruiserweight levels. Despite the added size, he's maintained a lean, chiseled physique, evidence of disciplined training and conditioning. Still, not everyone is sold on the move. Strength coach Robert Oster cautions that jumping from 154 straight to 168 and beyond could sap Crawford's speed and stamina, a risky trade-off when facing Canelo's elite power.
And Crawford doing everything he can to match Canelo's power, possibly size, and to, at a minimum, try to just maintain what speed he already possesses. Because, when you go up in weight, sometimes you compromise speed. So we know Crawford and his team are doing everything they can to, at a minimum, maintain his speed. But the question came up, okay, since Crawford is looking to come in the ring fast, powerful, he's already brilliant. Shit, what if Canelo comes in lighter? Like lighter. Yeah. What happens if Canelo says, you know what, I'm not going to try to come and just outweigh him by 20 pounds on fight night because I realize I'm in there with somebody who's very agile and probably going to be faster than me. And although I have timing, he has timing too. So I can't afford to be 2 or 3 steps behind Terence Crawford.
Boxing coach Greg Hackett doubts Terence Crawford can score a knockout against Canelo Alvarez in today's 12-round era. He sees Canelo as too battle-hardened to be stopped easily, arguing that Crawford doesn't possess the freakish one-punch power or the willingness to stand in the pocket and trade bombs. Instead, Hackett envisions a Bud masterclass built on precision and technical brilliance rather than sheer force. In his view, only the old 15-round format might give Crawford the time and attrition needed to wear Canelo down for a stoppage. Meanwhile, tensions between the two fighters are heating up as the bout draws near. Canelo taunted, "He'll find out what happens when a good fighter jumps up and his opponent is a great fighter." Crawford shot back with a stinging retort, "So that means you're a good fighter and Mitri Bivol is a great fighter, right? Every time you stepped up, you lost." The jab was a bold reminder of Canelo's defeat to Bivol, and a clear sign that the war of words is well underway.
Will do going against somebody like Canelo at 168.
I think Bud. And one thing I love about Bud, he willing to challenge himself. And when you're willing to challenge yourself, you can surprise yourself. That's a hell of a feeling. Um, I think, to be honest, you don't want to sit there and brawl with Canelo, but at some point you're gonna have to fight him. You know what I'm saying? You can't let Canelo press you. You know what I'm saying? Because he great at that. Yeah, and he a bully. He is a bully. But Bud, I believe, got bully tendencies too. You know what I'm saying? And he could be crafty. But I think if he approached it the way he approached um Spence, we get a way better fight than people think. Now, what I saw when he approached Spence was you can't make a mistake.
Mm-mm.
Can't can't let him do too much. I
Mm-mm.
can't let him be a bully. I think if he go at Canelo the same way, then we get a great fight on our hands. Not that I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's gonna be that dominant, but I'm just saying I think we get a great fight on our hands.
Andre Ward,
Andre,
the former two-division world champion, offered a wholehearted endorsement of Terence Crawford ahead of his clash with Canelo Alvarez. "I'm not betting Terence Crawford against anybody right now," Ward said, adding that Crawford is the kind of fighter you can bet the house on. While he acknowledged the steep weight jump and inherent dangers of the matchup, Ward was firm in his belief that someone would have to prove they can break Crawford's will, something he's yet to see anyone
I'm
accomplish.
going with Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you.
Dmitry Bivol, the WBA light heavyweight champion renowned for his technical brilliance, has spoken with high regard for Terence Crawford. In past interviews, Bivol has called Crawford not just good, but amazing, even suggesting that young fighters should study him as a blueprint for learning the sport. Now, with Crawford set to face Canelo Alvarez, Bivol once again praised him as one of his favorite boxers, highlighting his combination of size, skill, and ring intelligence, and voiced his belief that Crawford has what it takes to defeat Canelo.
Crawford, Spence. I know you watched the fight and you spoke about Crawford. How good is Crawford?
Crawford is amazing, not just good. He's amazing. And,
He said the same thing about you.
thank you, Terence. But I think he should be in the book for
Really? Is that good?
how to learn boxing. You know.
Really?
He's a very good fighter. Yeah, I like to watch his fights.
Pound for pound, number one?
Yeah, probably he is.
Yeah.
Now because he is undisputed champion in two weight classes. And
It's crazy.
he's a great fighter. Yeah. To be honest, I didn't see. I think Crawford in real life. I don't know how big he is. But besides, when I came to boxing gym and my coach told me that one of the rules is like respect the weight classes. You should respect weight classes. But he has a very good skill. He's one of my favorite fighters, active fighters.
Bernard Hopkins believes Terence Crawford's dominant win over Errol Spence Jr. left more than just a loss on Spence's record, it left lasting damage. Hopkins argued that the punishment Crawford delivered effectively took 4 fights off Spence's career, prematurely aging the former champion and diminishing his future performance and durability. He suggested the toll was both physical and psychological, altering Spence's trajectory long after that night. In Hopkins' view, the bout was proof that Crawford's greatness isn't limited to winning fights but to leaving a mark on opponents that endures well beyond the final bell.
Fought twice, throughout the year, Crawford,
Look where he beat. Look where he beat. Look where he beat. What he did to Spence. How he did it. That's 3 fights to me. And it took 4 fights out of Spence, right? Yeah, I'm a fighter, so I can tell you punish like that.
Yeah, I was there ringside watching the
It
fight.
takes years out of you. Don't see the years right now, but it sort of takes something out of that person going forward. They still beat some fights, but it really put a bruise on you. You didn't see Spence fight yet, did you? Did you hear him name opponent for him to potentially fight? It's been quiet.